Okay, let's look at number 1 right now. And it says the area of a rectangular lot is represented by 6t squared plus 13t minus 5. What is the length and the width of the rectangular lot? You guys need to remember, underline length and width, and I want you to write factors. So what this means is I need to factor this polynomial. To factor, we need to remember step 1. Step 1 is to find and factor out a GCF. When I look at this, the smallest number is at 5. Does 5 go into 13? No. So I can't pull out a GCF. There is nothing. The second thing is to slide. Now, what do you have to slide? You're looking for the number in front of your x squared or t squared. So there is a 6. So I'm going to take this 6 and slide it to the back. When I say slide, that means I'm going to multiply the first and the last number. So I'm going to get t squared plus 13t. Then 6 times negative 5 is negative 30. From here, I need to factor. Now, I'm going to put it into 2 parentheses. I know that t squared splits up as t and t. I need the factors of this last number. I need the factors of negative 30. What does that mean? I need the numbers that multiply together to give you negative 30. Okay, so we can either write them out by hand, or you go into the handy dandy calculator and go to y equals. Go to y equals and put in there negative 30 divided by x. Now what this is doing is giving me the numbers that multiply together to give me negative 30. Remember, it's always going to give you at 0, it's going to say an error because you can't divide by 0. So you're trying to add these together. Which ones give you positive 13? Now when you look up here, I see 2 and negative 15, but 2 and negative 15, when you add those together, that gives you negative 13. What do you need? Positive 13. So I need to switch the signs and get negative 2 and positive 15. Now when you add those together, you get positive 13. That's what I'm getting for my middle term. So I'm going to put minus 2 and plus 15. Now, I had to slide. Wait, what happened here? I forgot the 1 on the 50. Woo, thank you, because I knew something was wrong real quick. There we go. Let's try this. All right. So, plus 15. Now, when you slide, now you must divide by that number. So I need to divide by 6. Now, when you're looking, does negative 2 divided by 6, that is not 3. A lot of people try and tell me it's 3. Here's what I suggest you do, because this is not reduced. So let's go in the calculator and let's put in there negative 2 divide 6 and press math, enter, enter. We need to reduce it. So now it's going to be minus 1/3. Still doesn't work very nicely for a whole number. So when that doesn't work, you take that 3 and we'll put it in front of the t. So I'm going to have 3t minus 1. Now, the second parentheses, I've got t. 15 divided by 6 doesn't go in nicely, but let's go into the calculator. Go 15, divide 6, math, enter, enter. Let's reduce it. It says 5 over 2. So I'm going to have plus 5 over 2. That still doesn't give you a whole number, but it reduced it. So now you put the 2 in front of the t. So now I have 2t plus 5. Let me write a t. 2t and x means the same thing. So let's see. 2t plus 5. These are your factors. This is your length and your width. People say, well, which one is the length and which one is the width? It doesn't matter. I'll just put length, 3t minus 1, width, 2t plus 5. Now, y'all need to make sure that you are checking it, that you did it correctly. Remember, you need to put the original problem into y1 and what you believe the answer is into y2. All of this into y2. Press second graph and make sure all y1 and y2 are the same, just like we have been checking. Let's look at number 2. There we go. Now it says the area of a desktop is represented by x squared minus 49. Find the dimensions of the desktop in terms of x. This one is a special one. We could still do slide and divide, but what is it that I'm missing whenever we did slide and divide? Well, no, some of them don't have anything in front of the x. Like a lot, don't we normally have like an x squared and then an x and then a number? Okay, you're missing that x. That's because this is what's called a perfect square. It means that I split this up evenly and my middle term is 0. That's why this cancels out. So x squared is going to split up as x and x. Since the middle term is missing and it equals 0, I'm going to have a plus and a minus. I need to figure out what number, okay, negative 49, what are the factors in negative 49 that when you add them together give you 0? So you can go in your calculator, go negative 49 divided by x. And when you do that, you get negative 7 and positive 7. So I have x minus 7 and x plus 7. So my dimensions, that's what my dimensions would be. If I had to draw a picture of it, I would make my desktop and I'd have x plus 7 and x minus 7. What if I asked you for the perimeter? If I added them all together, what if I just put 2x? Would that be right? No, because that's only 2 of the sides. You have to do all of the sides, sorry. So now when you do all of the sides, the 7s all cancel out, but how many x's do I have now? I have 1, 2, 3, 4x if they asked you for the perimeter of that desktop. Just kind of expanding upon the questions you're going to have on your quizzes. All right, looking at number 3. It says find the area of a square. Guys, what is true about all the sides of a square? They are the same. So that means when I split these up into parentheses, these two things are going to be exactly the same. That's going to give me a hint. So now we still need to do slide and divide. So step 1 is to pull out the GCF. What? Is there a GCF in all of these? There's a 1. Well, 1 goes into all of them, but we don't have to pull a 1 out. That doesn't help us at all. Step 2 is to slide. Is there a number in front of the s squared? Yes, there is. So I'm going to slide. So you're going to take the 4, and by sliding it to the back, you're going to multiply the first and last number. So I'm going to get s squared minus 4s. Then I'm going to take 4 times 1, which gives me positive 4. Now, I need the factors of 4. Okay, so I've got 3. I've got my factors. I know I'm going to split them up, and my s squared is split up as s and s. When you go to find your factors of 4, I know that I have 1 and 4, negative 1 and negative 4, 2 and 2, and negative 2 and negative 2. I need my factors that add up together to give me the middle term. Those are 5, negative 5. 2 and 2 is 4. But I need negative 2 and negative 2 to give me negative 4. So I'm going to have s minus 2 and s minus 2. When it says, what is the length? My length is going to be s minus 2. Let's remember that if I wanted to write s minus 2 times s minus 2, I also could write it as s minus 2 squared. But when it's asking you for the length, it's just one of those. Number 4. All right, now number 4, we can do this. Actually, when it asks, it says the area of the rectangular sign is, and it gives you the polynomial. And it gives you the width, and they want to find the length. There's a way to put it in the box and work backwards, but I would really just say, let's do slide and divide on this. Let's just find it out, and I just know that one of my answers has to be 7x plus 1. So if I do step 1, step 1 is to find the GCF. I look for the smallest number. Does 3 go into 20? No, so there's no GCF to pull out. Step 2, I need to slide. I only can slide if there is a number in front of the x squared. Is there a number? Yes, I'm going to take this 7 and slide it to the back. So I get x squared minus 20x, 7 times negative 3, negative 21. Now I need to factor. That means split them up into parentheses. So my x squared splits up as x and x. Now, I need the factors of negative 21. Well, and I need the factors that add up together to give me 20, negative 20. So when you go in the calculator and go to y equals, you put in there negative 21 divided by x. Second graph. I'm looking for my factors that add up together to give me negative 20. I found it right off the bat. It should be 1 and negative 21. Because when I add those together, that gives me negative 20. That's my middle term. So I'm going to have 1 plus 1 and minus 21. Now, you know what some people tell me? Well, that can't be right because they already told me that 7x plus 1 is one of my factors. Well, it is, because what's the last step that we have to do? We have to divide. And what number am I dividing by? 7. Well, 1 divided by 7, that's a fraction. That doesn't work, so I take the 7 and put it in front of the x. There's my 7x plus 1. Well, my other one, what's negative 21 divided by 7? Negative 3. So my answer is going to be x minus 3. That's the length that you didn't have. Let's look at number 5. All right, here's the next one. Oh, now this takes us back to the other unit. It says the length of the rectangle is 7x plus 2, and the width is 3x minus 1. Write the expression that represents the area. So what do we need to do? We need to either FOIL, multiply using the box, but you are multiplying these two things together. For me, I'm going to use that box 2 by 2, that graphic organizer, and you're going to multiply. I have 7x plus 2 and 3x minus 1. Well, 7x times 3x, 21x squared. 7x times negative 1, negative 7x. 2 times 3x, 6x. 2 times negative 1, negative 2. All I did was multiply. Now you combine like terms by putting together the middle term right here. So I'm going to get, my answer is going to be 21x squared minus x minus 2. And the minus x comes from 6 plus negative 7. Again, you could check it by putting the problem into y1, what you think the answer is, into y2. Number 6. They give you the side of the square and they want you to find the area. Do that now, please. So on number 6, it says a side of a square is 5x plus 4. Well, remember, the side of a square means if it's a square, all the sides are the same. So if you're trying to find the area, you're taking 5x plus 4 times 5x plus 4. Well, a 2 by 2, I'll use a graphic organizer. 5x plus 4 times 5x plus 4. 5x times 5x is 25x squared. 5x times 4 plus 20x. 4 times 5x, 20x. 4 times 4, 16. I'm going to add these two together right here. I get 25x squared plus 40x plus 16 is your answer. So on number 7, it says, what are the dimensions and what are the area? Remember, when they're talking about dimensions, they're talking about length and width. They're talking about the factors. Well, one way we can go through and do this is first, let's find the area. Let's find the product. I have 1x squared. Then I have I'm counting up how many x's I have. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Plus 11x. Then count up your units. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So I have plus 30. Now when it wants the dimensions, I just have to find the factors. So if I work backwards here and I put it in parentheses, I know x squared splits up as x and x. Now I need to find the factors of 30. Well, the factors of 30 that add up together to give me 11 would be 5 and 6. So I'm going to have x plus 5 and x plus 6. Now that makes sense, because if I had a factor frame right here kind of extended out, well, if I kind of drew what was up here, there's the x, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's your x plus 6. Along the side would be an x, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where your x plus 5 comes from. Okay, on number 7, it says which expression is equivalent to negative 6x squared minus 11x minus 4. The easiest thing to do is to go into the calculator, go into y equals, and put the original problem into y1. Negative 6x squared minus 11x minus 4. And in y2, you're going to go through and find some of your answer choices and try it. So I'll try D first because I can see that. So I'm going to put parentheses, negative 3x minus 4 parentheses, parentheses 2x plus 1. And then press second graph. And you're looking to see if all of y1 and y2 are the same. And you see how they are? We got lucky and we picked the right answer right away. This would be my answer, is letter D.